The sun rose slowly over the African plains, but its light brought no comfort. Endless fields stretched to the horizon, filled with black African men and women already forced into labor. Chains clung to their ankles as they walked through dry soil. Some pushed heavy wooden plows through the ground, others guided animals, while a few were ordered to drive loaded farm carts along dusty paths. White colonizers watched from a distance, rifles resting on their shoulders, horses shifting beneath them. Orders were shouted without mercy. Whips cracked through the air. Anyone who slowed down was punished immediately. Among the workers was Amari, a young man with strong arms and tired eyes. As he pushed the plow forward, he stared at the road beyond the fields, the road where carts disappeared, a road that did not belong to chains. Something inside him stirred. As the sun climbed higher, the heat became unbearable. Dust filled the air, sticking to sweat-soaked skin. Amari's hands shook as he worked, blood forming where metal rubbed flesh. Nearby, others drove wooden vehicles filled with crops meant only for white profit. Suddenly, a man collapsed beside him. The overseer reacted with rage. Violence followed. The body was dragged away as if it were broken equipment. No one was allowed to stop. No one was allowed to speak. But the silence was heavy. That moment burned into every mind. Amari realized fear no longer ruled him alone. When darkness fell, bodies were thrown onto the ground like tools after use. Sleep did not come easily. Eyes stayed open. Thoughts moved quietly. Whispers passed between people lying close together. Stories of escape, stories of forests, stories of running through crops tall enough to hide a human body. Amari listened. He said nothing, but every word carved itself into his memory. The next day, work resumed as if nothing had happened. Tall crops surrounded the workers, blocking the view of guards in some places. Without warning, two figures ran. Chains rattled, crops shook, shouts followed, horses charged, gunshots tore through the air. One runner disappeared into the fields, the other fell. The land swallowed the sound, but the message was clear. Escape was real. Days passed. Labor grew heavier. Some Africans were assigned to drive carts and simple farm vehicles, moving harvests across long routes. Amari was chosen to drive one of them. As wheels rolled forward each day, he memorized paths, guard positions, blind turns, and open land. Every journey became a lesson. One night, a small group gathered near the edge of the camp. No speeches, no promises, just understanding. Amari finally spoke. "When the carts move at sunset, we run." No one disagreed. They all knew what staying meant. At sunset, carts rolled forward under fading light. Dust filled the air. Suddenly, Amari jumped from the moving vehicle. Others followed. They ran, across open land, through crops, toward distant trees. Shouts erupted behind them. Horses thundered. Fear chased them faster than bullets. The forest stood ahead like a wall of shadow. Some reached it, some fell. Amari crossed the tree line just as gunshots echoed behind him. Inside the forest, silence returned, but it was a dangerous silence. Still, the chains were gone. Freedom brought hunger. Days passed with little food and constant fear. Some escapees were captured again. Others chose to return, unable to leave family behind. Amari stayed hidden, carrying guilt and determination together. He understood now, escape was only the beginning. Those who were captured again were brought back publicly. Their bodies told stories of pain. The colonizers believed fear would return. Instead, anger grew stronger. Labor resumed, but everything had changed. Fields became places of communication. Looks replaced words. Movements carried meaning. The land itself seemed to listen. One night, distant drums echoed softly. Not everyone understood, but enough did. The sound traveled across fields, across hills, across fear. Something bigger was coming. This time, dozens ran together. Across fields, across roads, across open land. The earth shook beneath their feet. Violence followed without mercy. Many fell, but something broke forever that day. The colonizers saw it clearly. They could no longer control spirits. Survivors escaped in different directions. Stories traveled with them. Resistance spread beyond one place. Years passed. Systems weakened. Control cracked. Amari became a name whispered, then a story, then a symbol. Forced labor ended in some regions, not everywhere, but enough to change history. Children walked the same fields freely. They listened to stories with wide eyes. Memory became inheritance. The land slowly healed, though it never forgot the blood beneath its soil. The fields remained, the scars remained, but freedom remained too. And freedom, once planted, never stops growing.